Hello everyone and welcome to All Things Watched. In this video we are going to talk about the brand new movie, The Marvels, which of course is the next chapter of the MCU, which stars Brie Larson reprising her role as Carol Danvers, Teyonah Parris reprising her role as Monica Rambeau, Iman Vellani reprising her role as Kamala Khan, and of course Samuel L. Jackson reprising his role as Nick Fury. Now, I'm probably going to be someone that's swimming a little bit against the tides with my review, because I am someone who is in the minority, who actually enjoyed Ant-Man Quantumania and also enjoyed projects like She-Hulk. And if I'm going to be honest with you, I enjoyed this project, The Marvels, but I do think that the general audience will probably not enjoy this one as much, and I think a lot of it will be because of the writing. Now, in terms of Brie Larson and her portrayal of Carol Danvers, I do think that she was much more likable in this movie than what she has been in any other project that we've seen her in. I do think that Captain Marvel is a much more compelling character in this one, not so much in the fact that she's interesting, but just in the fact that she's more likable. She makes more likable decisions. She makes really good grown-up decisions, and she really leads this trio of Monica, Kamala, and Carol, and herself. So she does a really good job at actually being a captain, and she does a really good job at being very likable. Now, Monica Rambeau, I thought she had probably some of the best character development of all three. We get to see some flashbacks, we get some resolution to what's going on with her, between her and Carol, some resolution with her and her mom, and a little bit of time that she missed with her mom and whatnot. And then, of course, I don't think it will come as any surprise, and it's no-brainer that the star of this show is Kamala Khan, Iman Vellani's Miss Marvel. She is by far the best part of this show, including her family. Her family was in this movie as well, and it was great to see them all return. They really do have that amazing family dynamic, some very realistic, mother and daughter, interactions and all that good stuff, and she really steals the show, and so does her family. In fact, I would say she is the best part of the show, her and her family, and I really do think that she really shines here, and Iman Vellani has a fantastic future with the MCU. I have no doubts in my mind. And then, of course, we have Samuel L. Jackson, who portrays Nick Fury, and I do think that this is one of the weaker portrayals, not because of Samuel Jackson himself, but just because of the writing. I think the writing of this character was done very poorly. He's a very different Nick Fury than what he was in Secret Invasion. He's very toned down. I would say this movie is very goofy, almost funny, and it does not take itself serious whatsoever. The biggest weakness of this movie by far is Dar-Benn. The character Dar-Benn, who was portrayed by Zawe Ashton, who was the main villain of the show, and she is, I think, probably the worst villain that the MCU has ever had. Out of everybody, I think she's the worst villain, even worse than Malekith in Thor: The Dark World, and I was a big fan of The Dark World. She's just such an underutilized character. Like, she's less than a throwaway villain. Like, not only is she a throwaway villain, but she's not even, you don't grow any attachment. There's no reason, no rhyme, not really. I mean, they do give sort of a little bit of a reason and rhyme as to why she's out on this vendetta, but it's not enough to really be interesting or even for you to care. The only reason why there's a villain in this movie is because there has to be a villain. So, the villain is definitely the weakest part of this movie, and even the story as a whole, it was not really all that compelling, but I still had a lot of fun because of the dynamic with Kamala Khan playing off of her fandom of Captain Marvel, and of course then throwing Monica Rambeau in there as well with the conflict between her and Carol. I still really enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a really fun movie, and this is absolutely a multiversal movie, okay? There's cameos in this movie that I was not expecting, and I won't say that, but I am going to be doing a spoiler talk over on the podcast. We will be dedicating a full podcast to the Marvels. I'm going to get that out as soon as possible, but in this review is not a spoiler review, so I'm not going to ruin the cameos, but there are cameos in here, and they are setting up some huge things for the future of the MCU, especially the mid-credit scene. I think the mid-credit scene is going to make a lot of people go crazy, especially if I'm going to be honest with you, they did things with this movie that I was not expecting. Like, they had, especially with the mid-credit scene, I was not expecting them to reveal something. I thought for sure they would have revealed it in a different project, or maybe even a standalone project, project, but all I'll say is that there is a different universe here. We do see more than our normal universe, and there are cameos from there's multiple cameos. It's not just one. There's a few cameos, which is going to be very fun and very interesting to see going forward. So this is absolutely a reality bending, a multiversal movie, which is fun. It's exciting to finally see the multiverse sort of, you know, sort of tinkle in or trinkle into all the different projects now. Now, I kind of wish, I would have been happy if they just had used a different variation of Kang. Would have been cool if we had have learned that Dar-Benn was working for Kang or something like that. It was a great chance to sort of utilize Jonathan Majors and throw him into another cool movie, you know, with another variation. But you know, I guess you can't have him in every single project, even though I probably would, just for the sake of character building and whatnot. But like I said, I still had a lot of fun with this movie, but I do think that this movie is going to do very poorly at the box office, and I do think it's going to be very poor with critics and just general audience. I think true hardcore Marvel fans will enjoy it, but I don't think that the general audience will enjoy it. This is one of the weaker MCU projects, probably one of the weakest that we've had in a while, but still, for me, I'm such a Marvel fan, even the weak projects I still enjoy. I'd rather a bad project than no project at all, and I'll definitely probably end up seeing this one again for a second time. And like I said, I had a lot of fun with this. I absolutely loved Kamala Khan. I want to see Miss Marvel everywhere, and like I said, they do set up a lot of things. Miss Marvel's endeavors with Marvel is going to be very big. She's going to be playing a very big role in the future of Marvel, with where they end her story at the end of this movie. She is going to be a huge important role going forward. Carol Danvers, how they leave her in the story, they really do a great redemption, so to speak. I feel for anyone that hasn't liked her before or thought that she was unlikable, they do a really good job here. She's very humanized, she's very likable, she makes a lot of really good decisions. I even found this movie to be a little bit emotional, you know, especially with how they end Monica Rambeau's story with this one. They end her in a way that I was not expecting, which actually sort of plays into sort of the multiverse and sort of the cameos from different universes, and that's all I'll say about that. So I'm sort of, sort of spoiling the ending, but not enough to really actually tell you what happens. But just a little teaser, where they leave Monica was they do something with her that I just simply was not expecting. But overall, I had a lot of fun with the Marvels. If I had to put a number on this one, I'd probably give it like a 65 or 70. Like I said, I'm a huge Marvel fan, so that's the only reason why I'm being so biased towards it, because I'm a huge Marvel fan, and I do like all the projects that they have released. But it's also important to remember, for anyone that doesn't like this kind of stuff, like this, or Quantum Mania, or She-Hulk, it's important to remember that all of these projects, including this one, the Marvels, was done under a different regime at Disney. The same people that made this movie are not the same people in charge now. So 2024 should be when, you know, the general audience should be able to get back into Marvel moving forward, because Feige now has a lot more power and a lot more control once again from the creative side, and I do believe that Feige is going to start making the right decisions. Loki season 2 is a great example of that. Even though it was sort of under the last regime too, you know, Loki season 2 was sort of during the transitional period. The Marvels, as we know in real life, there's a lot of behind the scene problems, a lot of reshoots and all that kind of stuff, and a lot of that once again was because of the change of power and the transition of the old regime into the new regime. But anyways, folks, I had a lot of fun with the Marvels, so let me know your comments or your thoughts and opinions down in the comments section below. If you like this video, click that subscribe button, and if you want to help the algorithm grow, again, I accidentally deleted the channel, so now we're starting over at scratch. Like, share, and all that good stuff, and that's pretty well all of that. So until the next video, take care.